I wasn't introduced to Halo in the ways that most of the community seemed to be. I didn't get an Xbox until 2011, but I knew about the Halo series through friends I had growing up. My parents were the type that didn't want me to play violent video games, so I was pretty late to the party. That didn't stop me from looking up Halo 3 clips on YouTube or finding custom Lego Spartans to trick my parents into buying. This was my Halo exposure from pretty much 2007 to 2011. But the thing that really got me into Halo wasn't even an official Halo product. It was the greatest show on the internet. Red versus Blue.
We want your flag! Wait just a second. The last time we got the flag, the chick in the black armor showed up. Just stay right where it is!
This was where my interest in Halo began to take off. I didn't really understand the greater Halo lore, but I understood Blood Gulch. I got so attached to these fictional characters, especially the freelancers, there was even a time that I told myself that if I ever had twins, I'd name them North and South Dakota.
What seems to be the problem?
North, you know what the problem is. This bitch stabbed us in the back, and now it's time to return the favor. Whose side are you on, brother?
Tex, take a walk. I need to have a little chat with my sister.
North, you sure?
Go. This is a family matter.
Rooster Teeth had done an amazing job of making their own story within the Halo universe, and since I was unaware of the proper lore, RVB became the official timeline for me for a brief time. My favorite character in this show was Agent Connecticut, and I would end up using the name Connecticut as a screen name in all online games, from MMORPGs to first-person shooters. Everyone would refer to me as CT. I was watching this show long before I got my Xbox and purchased my first Halo game. I could talk for hours about the Red vs. Blue story and how that show impacted how I view things in life today, as crazy as that may sound.
Let's not do this. It doesn't have to be this way.
What are you doing here? Why are you helping her?
It's not about her. I'm trying to do the right thing. You should too.
I am doing the right thing.
My Halo game interest wouldn't be piqued until the Halo Reach trailer. I can still hear the multiplayer trailer music in my head while writing this. Halo Reach is my favorite Halo game. This was because it was the first one that I was actually able to buy on my own. I didn't have the nostalgia or understanding of Combat Evolved or giving the Covenant back their bomb. All I knew was that this game didn't have the Master Chief. It was an elite unit of Spartans, and I was the newest member, Noble 6. Little did I know just how much this game would impact my gaming experiences. In fact, the whole reason my name is NoblePlays comes from Halo Reach. So, in a way, Reach has always been with me and will always be a part of me and this channel. Only playing Reach 2 years after its release didn't matter to me though. In the old days of Xbox Live Gold, I was only interested in playing online with other people. If I had started earlier, maybe I would have been able to capture more footage of that time in my life, but some of my favorite gaming memories were of playing custom games and finding friendships within that. Reach's Forge mode was also my introduction into building your own maps and game modes, so I would spend a lot of my time with my friends after school trying to build the next racing or infection map. The Xbox Live days were a lot more social for me than most people. I played a lot of matchmaking and spent a lot of my time trying to improve, but the real fun I had was playing with my IRL friends after school. Customizing my Spartan is probably something that I spent the most time on, and I've pretty much been able to keep the same look throughout all of the games. In addition to Reach being my first game, Rooster Teeth would again capture my attention with their weekly series, Halo Reach Fails of the Week, hosted by Jack and Jeff.
That's the name of my punk band. All right, here's Cowboy Brady 20, who forgets that you don't throw a drop shield on top of a grenade. That's a bad idea. You want to keep the grenades out of your drop shield, not inside.
This was a legendary combo. Not only did this give me hours of entertainment, but it also gave me new ideas of how to troll my friends when we played together, whether it was matchmaking or firefight. Once a year, I'll pull up an old episode of this and still laugh at some of the craziest clips submitted by the Halo community. And at the risk of sounding like every generation before me, the 2010s were prime gaming years, not just in games, but in content as well. The other machinima type shows I loved watching was Dark Knolls, Forgotten Spartans, and Rise of the Spartans by Black Plasma Studios.
Conan, I bet you can't stick it. You're on. You nearly got me. That's because I missed.
As a teenager, these were stories and characters I idolized, from their cool-looking armor to their heroic sacrifices to save fellow soldiers. As cheesy as this sounds, I learned a lot about brotherhood, teamwork, and selflessness from these stories. I'm sure there's some of you that are wondering how I could have talked about Halo so far with barely mentioning the main story and campaign. My introduction to Halo was the multiplayer, not the campaigns. While I have an appreciation for them, that's not all of what Halo is to me. I realize what I'm about to say here is treasonous to the larger Halo community, but my favorite campaigns were Halo Reach, Halo 4, and Halo 5 Guardians.
Contact!
That's because I grew up with those releases. I remember going with my friends to the midnight GameStop release of Halo 4 and Halo 5 Guardians, so there's a lot of emotion and memory attached to those installments of the franchise. Looking back at Halo 4, the game was just okay. And even more treasonous words here, Halo 5 is my second favorite title, because it reminded me of the Reach campaign in that you got to play as Fire Team Osiris and Blue Team. While you weren't your own Spartan, you always had a team around you, and that's what it reminded me of in the Reach days. I also really enjoyed the Halo 5 multiplayer. That was when I first dipped my toe into the pool of competitive gaming. I got really into the HCS at that point and latched onto a team that might make half of you cheer or boo: Evil Geniuses. I even bought the EG Scuff controller, which I still use to play Halo today. I would follow professional Halo very closely. I would watch the rise of players like Hook from Denial, Eco from Team Liquid at the time, and Stellar. I even got to play against Frosty in a duos online tournament. I thought for a brief moment that I could go pro at Halo, but thankfully that dream quickly faded away. Between the endless rounds of Reach's Firefight or Halo 5 Guardians ranked playlist, I found a whole new spark for playing competitively. And I know that doesn't happen for everyone, but it really did set me on a course to play games at a competitive level until about 3 years ago. Halo was the perfect game for a nerdy kid with few friends. I could be a badass super soldier and save humanity over and over again. Along the way, and as I got older, that magic did begin to fade. I became consumed with optimal settings for my games in order to perform better. And now there's nothing wrong with that on the surface, but playing games that way slowly began to eat away at my enjoyment of the franchise. I think a lot of us can relate to always watching the latest video on controller settings, sensitivity, and aim training. Through the drought from Halo 5 to Halo Infinite, I almost forgot about Halo entirely. The Master Chief Collection and remasters didn't really interest me, though I did play them for a little bit. Once Halo Infinite got released in 2021, I thought everything was back. But I was wrong. I didn't like the campaign, and the multiplayer at the time didn't feel good at all. It didn't feel like Halo, so I uninstalled it for about 3 years. And for some reason, over the last month since my last video, I've spent my weekends playing Halo once again. At first, I did what I always did: customized my Spartan, loaded up some arena multiplayer, and got back into PvP, but it still didn't feel quite right. I realize now, at age 28, that I didn't really care anymore about being good at the game. I just wanted to play the game. Listen to that again if you have to. After about 4 matches of Slayer, I stopped, and I thought to myself, myself, how can I get that magic back? How can I make Halo exciting for me again with the limited game time I have? I decided to load into the Firefight playlist, and like a time machine, I was transported back to Beachhead. Me and 3 other random players had to defend ourselves against waves of the Covenant. The magic was back, and for the first time in years, I didn't care about how many times I died, or what the best weapon was to use. I was just blasting away aliens with a minigun. This was Halo for me. This was what was enjoyable. It wasn't about getting good at the game, winning cash prizes, or creating a following. It was just dumb fun in a sci-fi game. And this might be a controversial statement, but that's all it should have been for me, and probably for you as well. Now, I understand the many struggles of Halo's development since 343, now Halo Studios, took the franchise over. There are plenty of legitimate and valid criticisms of Halo and its direction, but when I was a teenager, I didn't care about the direction. I didn't care about the company or how they made it, or the patch updates or balance changes. I cared about having fun playing a video game. I've returned to that mindset over the last few years, and dare I say, Halo Infinite is fun now? Maybe it always was. I have no idea. As I said in my previous video about gaming on the weekends, less is more, especially as you get older. We go through these phases as young kids where we had that dumb fun of gaming. Then we all got on YouTube and forums and games became less fun. Then as I transitioned into adulthood, those videos, patches, and forums meant nothing to me once again. What matters now is life and having fun when I play a game, whether it's considered dead or not by the community. I am having a blast playing Halo again, like when I was young all those years ago. It's just me, an assault rifle, and grenades against the Covenant horde. Because in the end, we all know that Spartans never die.